Nothing happens. I'm not saying it's a good idea to go speeding all around the place, or high speed, or fast, or whatever you want to call it, alacrity. I'm not saying it's a good idea. But if you go from A to B, and you get there in, what you consider to be good time, and you haven't hurt nobody, and they arrest you, and they say, oh, we grab your body. They grab a hold of the body. They don't take the name straight away, you see. They grab the body first, and then they ask for the name. They want the 9/10 of the law on their side, so they grab the body. That's possession is 9/10 of the law, right? They grab the body, they now have the 9/10 of the law. And then they ask you for the final 10%. What's your name, boy? You see? And Charlie Veach, as they just said in the chat box there, he handed it over. He went, yep, Charlie Veach. They got him banged to rights, folks. But there's no real difference, as I said, between that and a parking ticket, other than it's presented to you in the internet as a pre-crime, but it's not actually pre-crime any more than a speeding ticket is pre-crime, any more than parking in a loading bay is pre-crime when you're not actually in anybody's way and when you were ready to move before anybody else came in there or whatever. There's no difference. What's the difference between what happened to Charlie Veach and not having a TV license? Who gets hurt? A civil wrong and a criminal act is not the same. Not the same thing, right? A civil wrong and a criminal act. Well, we know he didn't commit any criminal act, so he must have committed a civil wrong. Well, did he? He did express an intent, right? And they do say the law's all about intent. So what if they missed? He did express an intent, but he didn't carry it out. I mean, if you say you're going to go and rob a bank tomorrow, but then you wake up tomorrow and you think, you know what, I can't be arsed. I'm not going to rob a bank after all. I've changed my mind. And they find out you were talking in your sleep. Maybe, in 20 years' time, maybe the government have listening devices in your house and you're lying in your bed and you're talking in your sleep going, I'm going to rob the bank tomorrow, I'm going to rob the bank tomorrow, I'm going to rob the bank tomorrow. And then you wake up and they arrest you and they pull you in. What, you said you were going to rob a bank. Huh? Did I? Yes, you did. Look, here's the recording we have you. You were saying so in your sleep. But I was asleep. Doesn't matter. You said it. You did say it, right? You can't say you didn't say it because you did say it. But what was your intent? The mens rea, the guilty mind. Actus rea, mens rea. Somebody ought to remind those officers that came to arrest Charlie Veach, and anybody who's writing a parking ticket, and anybody who's arresting somebody for non-display of tax, insurance, NCT, yada, yada, yada. Actus rea, mens rea. Go look at flipping up. Look it up. Intention. Hey, just because it's your intention to do something doesn't mean you'll actually go do it. Now, hey, Charlie Veach probably would have. Maybe he would have. In fact, I'd say it was very, very likely that he would have done what he said he was going to do. But they want to now examine whether that's criminal or whatever. But Charlie Veach, let's face it, folks, you might love the guy, you might be indifferent to him. But he didn't actually get to commit any crime because they intervened, you see. It was an intervention. And he gave them everything they need. He knows some of this stuff. I mean, I know he's been on TNS Radio at some stage, and I'm assuming he's listened once or twice. If he hasn't, well, he's going to be in want of some decent information, I think. So, I don't know, maybe they've released him again. Oh, actually, I think they did release him because he was on Adam versus the Man on YouTube, yeah, talking about it. So he has been released. But apparently now he's got a court date, and he seems happy that he's got a court date. So, well, I guess maybe he's happy. Yes, Wild Hunt, that may be true, pre-crime. But again, I mean, does a parking ticket not equal pre-crime? Think about it. Parking ticket, nobody got hurt. Where's the feckin' crime? And Montagna, you get brought in front of a court and a jury, or not a jury, but you get brought in front of a court, right? And there's a policy enforcement guy, and they're just enforcing a policy. Yeah, they enforce the policy on the people who are a party to the policy. Are you a party to the policy? Are you a party to that contract? If not, what the hell are you doing there? What I'm saying to you, folks, is it's exactly the same thing. What happened to Charlie Veach and a parking ticket, legally / lawfully, no difference. None whatsoever. Same gig. Okay. Let me think, was there anything else I wanted to cover? Yes, there is. The mathematically perfect economy, folks. I'm hoping to, there's a chap who's been very, very generous, and he's offered the use of a massive marquee for the day that we can stick up in a field. There's a couple of people who have offered me fields to use for the day. Offered the use of a field, rather. Not the actual field to me. So we're going to be doing the mathematically perfect economy. The event is in the chat box there. Mike Montagna said he'd give me a hand making sure I have everything squared in my mind and that I have the methodology worked out, how to go about it in the demonstration. The first one, folks, it may go a bit arseways here and there. We don't know till we try it. I don't know I think it's possible to demonstrate it physically. Won't really know till we go and do the first one. So that's why I really need as many people to show up as possible. 22nd of May. So 21 days time. Need as many people to show up and to be willing to kind of be patient with me and what I'm trying to do on the day. I'm putting a lot of effort into this intellectually to try and work out how to get you all to interact, because I want to also combine the mathematically perfect economy, and I want to stick somebody in the middle whose sole job is to try and to attempt to commit as much fraud in the system as possible, to show you how he will spring up out of the system so that you'll recognize the fraud immediately or as soon as. I think that's important, rather than me just try to demonstrate to you a mathematically perfect economy with nobody trying to pull any fast ones. Well, I think it'd be better basically if I can put a fraudster in there as well on purpose to show you how a fraudster would appear. They'd glow in the dark, neon sign would come up around them very quickly too. Also, I want to show you that if there is a disagreement, that how the system of Brehon law used correctly, the principles rather of Brehon law used correctly, can resolve the issue with both parties in agreement. And to also show you and demonstrate on the day that this can all be done under a completely voluntary association with everybody who interacts. And the idea is that as we go through the speeded up years, if you will, of interactions and transactions, I'll have like a cardboard box and a roll of carpet and say, as we stack cardboard boxes, they will represent schools and hospitals, and as the carpet gets rolled out, that will represent motorways, etc., etc. From the voluntary contributions that the people taking part in the economy are going to give willingly to the government. And I want to show you just how much that the government will end up with and how powerful the people's government will be when the people are in charge of it, and how they will never lose control of it. So that's my intention. So it's a bit more than mathematically perfect economy. I kind of want to do the whole thing in one go in one day. And if you attend, hopefully it'll work out. And when you leave, you'll be under no illusions how the whole thing goes together. You'll feel it, you'll see it, you'll be able to touch it and get through it. Thanks, Andrew, for that comment. I haven't heard that in a while. The feckin' breaking. Okay, how are we doing time-wise? Right, there you go. Bang on, nearly 11 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to quit out, and I'm going to quit out, folks, with this one from the Beastie Boys, just because I love it. It's called Sabotage. So that's it from me for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You've been listening to tnsradio.ning.com. I'm known as Ancient O'Brien of the ancient clan O'Brien on the land known as Ireland, or the Sovereign Republic of Ireland. Call it what you will. I like to call it the big ball. And we're all standing on the big ball, and all we have to do is live in peace and harmony. And let's face it, that shouldn't really be that difficult, right? I mean, it shouldn't be difficult to stop killing people, should it? Shouldn't be that difficult for